Let's say our grace. God is great. God is good. Let us thank for our food. Thank you for blessing us. Cover our minds, our bodies, and our souls. Let the kids receive what we're trying to say. Have your way like only you can. In Jesus' name, amen. Alright, so what did I tell y'all before? When another person's talking, what y'all not do? Alright, we on level zeros. We on level zeros. Y'all see, we got G Herbo in the building. How y'all feeling about that? Yeah. Alright, so remember earlier I told you this wasn't just about having a meet and greet with G Herbo, but this was about us talking about ways that we can help this community. Earlier we asked the kids a question. Basically, raise your hand if you lost somebody to gun violence. Raise your hand if you're tired of gun violence. Raise your hand if you've heard or seen somebody get shot. Right. So this is the community we live in. As you know, G Herbo is from Chicago, not too far from the area. So we thank you. We appreciate you for coming here, of course. We got a couple questions for you. The kids got a couple questions they want to ask you. And so, you ready to jump in?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's do it. What inspired you to write the album PTSD?
First and foremost, I just want to say hello to everybody. How y'all doing? I appreciate y'all. What inspired me to write my album PTSD? I was clinically diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder in 2019, and it was because I really didn't understand like what mental health was, or like the importance of mental health, or what I was suffering from. Because I am a product of violence and gun violence. I was shot too myself before. I seen a lot of my friends get killed, and a lot of people close to me, family members, and a lot of people that was near and dear to me. And I caught a case. I was arrested in 2018. I got locked up for a gun. And like, I believe in transparency and like being vulnerable, so I was speaking to my attorney, and I told her, like, I've been in fear of my life since I was like 15 years old, 14 years old, and I ain't never really like feel safe leaving out the house without a gun on me, and he insisted that I go talk to somebody professionally, like go talk to a therapist. And I started to do therapy, and I had to get comfortable with it. And when I like got comfortable and told my therapist a lot of my experiences and the things that I've been through in my life, they diagnosed me with post-traumatic stress disorder. And when I really like started to like look into it, I knew that a lot of us and a lot of you in this room suffer from it, the same way I did. And I started to like speak about it openly, because we don't really destigmatize the importance of like getting help or getting any type of mental help, and really like understanding what our feelings are and emotions and the things that we endure on a day-to-day basis. So I felt like with me just being who I am and using my platform to like spread awareness on what it was and what it meant and what it did for me, and to help a lot of people like y'allself, and just a lot of people who like appreciate and listen to my music, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I named the album PTSD, and I feel like it helped me, like it got me through a certain part of my life, in a dark time of my life, because it was around the time where I couldn't really travel, I couldn't be an artist, I couldn't go do shows and stuff, because I was, fighting this case, and I was stuck in Chicago. And as everybody knows, it's not really safe for me to just be limited to one place, you know what I'm saying? I never really experienced that since I started doing music. So I felt like it was just a time where I should speak out and just help anybody that was willing to listen, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I named my album PTSD.
So you already touched on the next question. Have you ever been in counseling? You answered that already. But what do you think that this generation lacks? And then to follow up with that question, what do you feel like this generation already has to succeed?
I'm gonna start with the second question. I feel like this generation, we already have vision, we already have insight on what we want to do. I feel like everybody in this room have goals, like what you want to do or where you want to be in life. You probably don't know what it's going to take to get there, but everybody in this room, I'm sure want to be something. And that's the start. If you can see it, obtain it, touch it, you can do it, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, all you have to do is believe in yourself. And I feel like this generation, what we lack is discipline and leadership, and that's because like a lot of us suffer from generational trauma. A lot of people never really taught us the things or put the tools into us that we needed to succeed. And I myself was one of those people, like I come from a 2-parent household, but I didn't really have like people who I looked up to in my community that I wanted to be like and do the things that they did. And I know a lot of times it's hard for us to like communicate with our parents and tell them what we feeling and the emotions that we feeling, you know what I'm saying? So that's why programs like this is good for us because you have people that you can trust and you can talk to and, you know what I'm saying, that believe in you and want to pour into you. Like that's why it's important for me to do stuff like this too, because I believe in like resources, putting your resources back into the community. So, I feel if you actually take the time and set forth goals and slowly but surely, day by day, just do the next best thing to get there. As long as you better today than you were yesterday, then you on a good path for, succeeding in life. So we need discipline, we need leadership, we need more resources, and first and foremost, we need to like believe in ourselves. If you believe in yourself and you know that you could get where you want to go in life, there's nothing that can stop you from getting there,
All right. Before I pass the mic to Julius, who's going to ask both of us questions, where do you see your position in building the next generations of leaders?
I see my position is just being there, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I didn't really have nobody growing up that I really looked up to. Like I just had willpower and like a strong will to succeed. So for y'all to see me coming here today is not a coincidence. Like I didn't get paid to be here. I want to be here. I want to be able to talk to y'all and tell y'all that it's possible. So just being able to see somebody like myself that's successful and have been through a lot of the things that y'all been through and tell you that you could do it, no matter if you want to rap, if you want to go to school, if you want to be an actor, a doctor, a lawyer, whatever you want to be, you got to set aside the time to go and accomplish your goals. You feel what I'm saying? And that's my role. I feel like my role in the community is just being availability. You know what I'm saying? Like, because you could put money into the community, you could do things, but if they not really able to like see you and understand where you come from and what it took to get there, it's hard to just tell somebody to do something if you don't really have an alternative for them, or you're not going to help in a way where as to they feel to help. You know what I'm saying? Like you could do anything from afar, but I just feel like, like putting both feet in the community and putting both feet on the front line to show people that it's possible and to help you by any means, so I feel like that's my role.
All right, so my question to you, Lee, is we know that you lost your brother, so how do you feel about losing your brother?
I would say, first giving honor to God before I even answer that question. My first brother was killed when I was 7. He was 16. My second brother was killed when I was 13, and he was 20. And I can say, all right, I'm not gonna cry on y'all today, but this is really meaningful for me. I'm still at my age of 23 dealing with the loss of my brothers. Every day is a different day. Having asthma, anybody here got asthma? You ever felt like something is sitting on your chest, but you just take 2 puffs of your inhaler and keep going? That's what I do every day without my brothers. So having this youth center and having you all be a part of the center and seeing you all every day, that's how I'm able to cope with losing my brothers. Seeing my mother get up every day and then losing them and being the only child. Having to really not even feel that void, but having to make up for the cries that my mother had, or having to live and operate in a different way. My purpose is bigger than me. I'm not just living for myself, but I'm living for the legacy of both of my brothers. I live in a way that is understanding for both of them. That's why I Am Them exists, because I Am Them means I am my youth, letting them know no matter what you go through, where you come from, you have potential. So Jeremiah 29:11, I walk with that. And with losing my brothers, that's how I'm able to not be affected. So I'm not the stories of my brothers, but I'm the testimony of what they went through in that moment. So violence is something that's prevalent in my community, but this is not a job for me. This is my life. So a lot of people, like you said, they don't show up. They don't make themselves available. Availability is everything. Money don't mean nothing if you don't give somebody your time. Money means nothing if you don't complete the purpose and the mission that God gave you. All of you have a purpose. So a lot of you deal with self-identity. It's a crisis. It's something that you go through. And if you're too busy trying to be somebody else, how are you going to be yourself? So with my brothers, looking at how they died and both of their deaths, it affects me in a way of I want to do more. and it's an obligation for me to do more. So it's an obligation to put my life on the line to make sure that you all live. Working in the funeral home, we see kids, all my kids that's in camp, stand up real quick. Stand up, y'all shout today. Stand up, come on, stand up, stand up. So with working with these kids, some of you all I've had years. I've watched. Some of you I have because your parents were killed and your parents meant something to me. Some of y'all I have because you have stories. Some of you have been shot at in probation and sent y'all to me. Whatever your stories is, I really genuinely want to thank you all and applaud you for getting up every morning to make sure that you're here. Every kid that's standing up has a purpose or regardless of whatever they're going through, lights be cut off, they don't have a way. Y'all get here, so I want to give y'all moment now. Sit down and wave at Herbos since y'all been talking all week about this.
So you answered my second question, Archie. So what made you want to start this organization?
I feel like no one understood me. I still feel like no one understands me. I feel like no one understood my silent cry of losing my brothers and just wanted to do something. Everything is a game in politics. Like everything is no shade. Y'all know I mean this. But that's why you don't see no politics or politicians here. This real life for me. Everything is a give or a jab, and you gotta play the game, and I'm tired of playing the game. So for me, instead of accepting what other people wanted to say, well, gun violence is just gonna happen. That's not true. You can save somebody else's life by giving them an opportunity to see something better.
What advice would you give to the youth about gun violence in your own opinion?
If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. It might sound cliche, but it'll mean something in a couple of years. Have a backbone. I mean, a lot of people, I used to go in rooms and they'd be like, you're a little girl. But that little girl, well, a lot of us say is big mama now, you know what I'm saying? So you gotta have your voice to be able to know what you wanna do. I mean, my nonprofit this is my job. I travel every week to go to different conferences and do things because this is not just something small, but it's something big for me. I see one of my close friends, kids in the back, and Trey was killed in 2017, and before Trey was 2018, and before he was killed, we was talking about bringing you here. So I got both of his kids back there in the back, and to have his kids hearing his fruit that he spoke, have people in your life that's speaking to you. Mm-hmm. If you have people that set you up and put you in predicaments, y'all new word is crash out. Don't crash out for nobody else because they give you 2 days and they barely give you that. You get 1 year that they had time to remember you or think about you, and then after that, you're nothing. You're nothing to them because they have to go on with their life. So think about that before you make decisions based on other people.
And a question for you, Diego. So do you think the rap music is heavily on gang violence?
You said heavily?
Heavily on gun violence, yeah.
The rap community in so many ways, yeah. And then in a lot of ways, it's like me personally as an artist and being on both sides of the fence, I feel like a lot of people just don't have a way to like tell their story. A lot of people looking for an outlet by any means, you know what I'm saying? And, I started like, I always like knew how to rap. I always would like rap in my free time and stuff like that, but I never really thought that I would choose this path and career for myself. I actually wanted to go to the NBA, and the streets kind of pulled me away from my dream in a way. And like I knew by any means though, like even when I was a kid, I'm not gonna lie to you, I always knew that I would be something. I knew that I would be the one to like take my mama out of the hood. Like I knew I would be the one to break my generation with my family curse. And with me always having that mindset as a kid, once I became passionate about rap music, I just told my story. So to say that and to speak on like what a lot of these younger kids in a generation like of rappers and new up and coming artists after me, they just looking for an outlet. And all they have is music and talking about the things that they've been through and they experience. You know, a lot of these kids are victims of gun violence. A lot of these kids are in the streets. A lot of kids are really fending for their life every single day. And me, I can't fault them from that because I come from that, you know what I'm saying? All you gonna do is want better for them. And like I said earlier, you can't really tell somebody how to change their life if you're not giving them an alternative. if you're not giving them an opportunity to change their life, and you putting stuff into them where they can take care of their family and provide for their children and provide for the people that they love, you can't tell them what to do or how to do it. You feel what I'm saying? And it's like a lot of them, that's the only option that they have. So I would say yes and no. Yes, people do, like, rap music is like heavy on gun violence, but that's the life that they live. And these labels, and me really being an artist for 10 plus years and seeing that these labels will put millions of dollars into you because you rapping about negativity and they know it sells, other than somebody that's really coming to tell you like, all right, bet, yeah, do this way. Get out of the streets, take care of your family, take care of your friends. And like she said, she was 100% right about that. If you put resources and money back into the community, people don't want to do violent things no more. If you got a way to go take care of your family and take care of your mother and your sister and raise your kids, you're gonna think twice before you pick a gun up and go use it. Trust me, 100%, I know. So it's like, you just gotta like take things for what they are. Like, I'm not naive to life, you feel me? I understand that a lot of these kids really don't have nothing but that. They wake up every day, they in a violent neighborhood, they're in a violent community, they waking up angry, and they have no other outlet but to pick up a gun and go try to do something to somebody or try to rob somebody. So when you take that from them and you get them more and they experience life and they see more, they'll do better. Like that term, if you know better, you will do better. And that's 100% true. So yeah, I believe that.
All right, now everything is done in decency and order. One person from each table is to ask a question. Relax, I didn't tell you what to do yet. Yay. Each table. Andrews, Tatiana, if you could pick a kid from each table, please. You've been practicing your question all week. Come on, time.
What's one place you want to go yesterday?
That's a great question.
One place that I want to go that I've never been is to Africa.
Young man with your hand raised.
What made you start rapping?
Yeah, you gonna be some. You got a lot of confidence and bass in his voice. You gonna be some. What made me start rapping is I felt like I was a voice for like a lot of my friends and what we started like experiencing in life. Because like I said, I probably knew how to rap since. How old are you? How old are you? 9. Yeah, I knew how to rap since I was like your age, but I really didn't start rapping and taking it serious since I was 15 years old. And I felt like I had something to say. I was rapping about like my experience, and I started to like lose a lot of close friends and stuff. So it was like a lot of bottled in emotion weighing in on me, and I wanted to let it out in some way. And I knew I always knew how to rap, so I felt like that was like a therapeutic way for me to express what I was feeling early on. And a lot of my friends knew that I knew how to rap, and they kind of like poured it into me. Like they gave me the confidence to say, yeah, this is what you should start doing it. I started taking it serious at 15.
Thank you, young man.
Hello, my name is Asia. I know you've been through, losing people and stuff, and I just wanted to ask, like, how you keep going? Like, I know you rap, so how you keep, like, pushing it and just stand to yourself? Because, like, I'm nervous. Hold on.
No, you don't gotta be nervous.
Because I'm trying to get it out so you can understand. But I be rapping too, and I feel like from the people that I done lost, I kind of been lost that way. And I want to keep going, but I feel like I'm stuck. So how do you keep going?
That's a beautiful question.
That's a great question. For me, it's seeing the finish line, knowing that I have a purpose and it's more out there for me. And I believe in God, you know what I'm saying? So it's like a lot of that when they pulling you down and you feel like you want to give up, that's the devil, you know what I'm saying? You should never let the devil win. You should never let trauma or the things that you've been through overcome like your destiny, you know what I'm saying? You should never let nobody take that from you. And I feel like what worked for me is just knowing that you can't take a lot of these things personal. A lot of things you can't control, you can't take it personal. You gotta add it like it's fuel to your fire and keep going. Because I lost a lot of my close friends. I lost my younger brother. And that was like one of the toughest times of my life. And this was recently. My brother got killed in 2021 and I was already successful. And it took me into a real dark place, you know what I'm saying? So I felt like in order for me to feel better about myself, I would think about what he would want me to do. I know he wouldn't want me to quit. He would want me to keep going. He would want me to be successful. He would want me to take care of my kids. He would want me to take care of my family. He would want me to be there for my nieces and nephews and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So I felt like it was my purpose, it's my destiny to keep going. And I got a vision. I want to be one of the greatest when it comes to music. I want to leave a legacy behind. And how I'm gonna do that if I give up? So you should feel the same way. Don't never let nothing or nobody make you want to give up, even when you feel like it's hard on you. And I got this little kind of like a motto I go by. When it's something I don't want to do, I get like more fuel from it, because when you don't want to do something and you see it through, you feel better about yourself, you get a better outcome, you know what I'm saying? So it's like them days when you don't feel like going to the studio, go to the studio, and when you leave, you might come up with one of the hardest songs that you made, you feel what I'm saying? So it's like, I live by that. When I'm not feeling it, it's like I give myself that extra push to just make sure I see it through, you know? Yeah, for sure.
All right, after this, we taking 2 more questions. Tatiana, pick 2 more people.
Okay, so
Okay.
you know how Dirk signed Chucky and Fat Sauce?
Mm-hmm.
And I saw you like was with Lil Jeff and Lil Score.
Mm-hmm.
You ever started a label
Yeah.
and like signed kids?
Yeah, I definitely see it's like kind of a flip side of the coin with that. I want to do that. I feel like I was so like caught up and focused on getting to a certain point because I'm an artist. I want to really be able to change people's lives, especially artists that I signed. So I wanted to put myself in a good enough position where I could give artists an opportunity and they wouldn't have to go through the things that I went through and all the hardships and the trials and tribulations. Don't get me wrong. Nothing in life gonna be easy. You still gonna have to go through tough times to succeed. But I feel like I wanted to put artists in a better situation to succeed. And now I'm finally at a point to do that, you know what I'm saying? So like me being around artists like Lil Jeff and School and my little cousin Op and all of them, you know what I'm saying? Big Op, like I'm putting them in a position to succeed and become their own boss, you know what I'm saying? Like, so the opportunities and the things that I do for them, I'm teaching them and I'm giving them a game and giving them insight so they really don't have to make the same mistakes I had, whether they sign to me or not, you know what I'm saying? Like I go by that for real when it comes to like, it don't really take nothing from you to show love or give people opportunity or just put people in a better position. And when I was an artist coming up, I never really signed artists because I always wanted to be able to put them in a better position than I was when I started.
Hi, my name is Jade. And earlier you was talking about being diagnosed with PTSD through therapy, and I was also diagnosed with therapy for depression from losing my sister last year. So I wanted to ask you what advice you have for the youth, because I know a lot of us go through undiagnosed effects because we don't have access to therapy really. So what advice you give you to deal with those hard days and those days when your thoughts are really?
You gotta first acknowledge the way you're feeling. You gotta acknowledge your emotions, and you gotta accept that you're feeling this way for a reason. So you can't let your thoughts win. You can't drown in your thoughts. You can't drown in depression. You have to do whatever it is that make you feel better. And I'm not saying like temporary happiness, because I too, like when I suffered from like depression and anxiety and stuff like that before I even got diagnosed with PTSD, I was self-medicating. Like I was on drugs and stuff like that heavy. And I understood early on, like the next day when I wake up, my problem's still gonna be there, you know what I'm saying? So don't look for those temporary outlets. Don't look for drugs and stuff like that to, you know what I'm saying, kind of make your situation better for the moment, because at the end of the day, nothing gonna change, you know what I'm saying? You gotta go and be that difference. You gotta hold yourself accountable and say that, yeah, I'm feeling this way for a reason. And you gotta do what it is on a daily that is your escape to overcome your trauma and overcome your anxiety and overcome your depression, because there's always light at the end of the tunnel. And I like to say that what you feeling, somebody else felt 10 times worse and they overcame it, you know what I'm saying? So it's always something worse that somebody else feeling that you feeling. And I really believe that I go by that. So you can't really just drown in your thoughts and drown in your sorrows and saying, why me, why me? You know, because God put a lot on people for a reason. So it's like, it's just gonna be a part of your journey, and you know, you got a greater destiny. out there to fulfill. So it's like you gotta really fulfill your destiny in life no matter what you're going through. And you know, you believe in yourself and be around people who believe in you. Surround yourself around good people who want to see you succeed and want to see you do better in life. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's gonna help you a lot.
All right, I definitely want to tell you thank you.
For sure.
Thank you, appreciate you. Do y'all feel like y'all learned something? All right, now. I definitely, closing out, I pray that, y'all know Miss Leah gotta get pray every time, but I pray that God keep blessing y'all, covering, keep y'all, protecting y'all. The weapons of life may forward, they won't prosper. I'm not telling you or forcing you to believe in Christianity and believe in something, because if you don't stand or believe in a higher power higher than yourself, you're gonna fail.
Absolutely.
So I'm not telling you to believe in what I believe in, but I'm telling you to believe in something to cover you in this world. It's nothing like being covered and having to cover me. Personally, I believe God is the reason why I am the way I am. He is the I am, so that's where them comes from. You feel me?
Absolutely.
So I want you all to keep that in mind. I pray that God continues to bless, keep and cover you, and that you shall live and not die. You should be the generational curse breaker in your family. You should continue to grow, prosper, and be great.
Just watch the damn podcast.